Good evening, folks. It's the fan from the stands. Today's January 2nd, the day after New Year. Talk about New Year, new me. The Lufkin Lady Panthers fall to Mount Pleasant Tigers on Tuesday's basketball action, dropping to 3-4 and dropping to fifth place. As of right now, the district standings look like this: Tyler High coming at 7-0, Jacksonville 7-1, Mount Pleasant 5-2. Of course, Nacogdoches just above us with a 3-3 record. Lufkin now at 3-4. They have a big game tomorrow between the Marshall Mavericks, who are 2-15 with an 0-7 record. This game will be at the Pack in Lufkin at 5:30. If you could make it out, that'd be great. It is tomorrow, January 3rd. Lufkin's record is 11-9 overall. The Lady Panthers and 3-4 in district play. The Lufkin boys basketball took on as well the Mount Pleasant Tigers. Um, One of the cool stats that I found is Mount Pleasant hasn't lost but only 2 games in 6 years at home. This is including non-district and district play. And until yesterday, us being the third in 6 years. Uh, to give you a breakdown a little bit about Mount Pleasant, they have the 6'6" guard Reggie Webster and Carter Chisholm, who is rated one of the top 10 point guards in the state of Texas. Personally, one of the things that I thought was pretty amazing. Everybody stepped up. They did what they needed to do. We got out of there with a win, which is a very tough to play place to play. It was up and down. We took a lead for a bit. That was a little bit, at one point 9 point lead, and then of course Mount Pleasant battled back as they always do, and uh, just was a great game. But two complete teams. Really thought both teams played pretty well. Both shot free throws very well as well. Three players that come to mind that I really thought really kind of showed some things was Dalen Newman, number 4. He really stepped up. He made some key putbacks. He had a couple of nice lay-ins. Ended up with 8 points, uh, as well as playing really good defense on Carter Chisholm. Um, Bryson Skinner, man, what can we say about him? This guy just continues to impress. A real leader on the floor, plays on both ends. Uh, Really just does it all. He had a couple of huge key steals and defensive stops. Ended up with 8 points as well. Uh, excuse me. And then, man, Kevo Moore, a guy that comes off the bench, makes a huge corner bucket, and then gets a putback. He plays. I mean, the ability to come off the bench, be a key contributor in a big spot, and get your name called and just play really well in that moment. Like I said, these three guys, I thought they really stood out. Um, just a really a well-rounded team effort, really a lot of energy. It was a hard, tough win, and one thing that I thought, I rode with somebody on the way home, and one thing that we talked about is this team is really complete. They do a lot of things right. They're really good offensively. Defense is phenomenal. They shoot the three and outside. They can lay it up off the glass. Um, they can shoot free throws just about as well as anybody I've ever seen at Lufkin. Just they don't turn the ball over. Everybody can handle the ball, and really when you look at the bench, everybody contributes. And so this team is just, what can you say about them? They find a way to win in one of the toughest places, in my opinion, to play in the state of Texas. Just a really huge win. Really proud of the kids, and to come up with that kind of win and that kind of environment really says a lot about the kids and the coaching and everything overall. So with that win, That puts Lufkin overall as 6-0 in district with a 23-2 record. Um, Mount Pleasant dropping their first game, a district game of the season, putting in at 4-1, 15-4 record. Hallsville 4-2 with a 17-6 overall record, and Tyler High tied with Texas High with 3-2 overall district record. Lufkin will play the Marshall Mavs as well tomorrow. Before we look at that, let's look at some of the rankings. This is the GASO rankings. There's two different main rankings that are out there, and this is the GASO. I actually prefer this one. I think it's a little more less favorable favoritism, I guess you would say. They really have seen Lufkin a lot more. The other one, the UIL rankings, I don't think they give Lufkin the justice they deserve. But looking here, if you look at this rankings, the GASO, Lufkin comes in at 15 in the state of Texas in 5A as of the first. And then if you look down at number 25, so we beat the number 25 team on the road in the state of Texas. To win like that, it's just a sound. It's awesome. So I just kind of wanted to bring up some stuff that I thought was somebody had brought up to my attention over the last few days, but really I didn't think much about it, but until today. So or until they brought it up to my attention, excuse me. But looking at the region breaking down, if I didn't tell you the last time, I'll tell you the now. So something that's a little different than in the past in terms of the divisions and things like that. So, like I said the last time, in the divisions are broken down a little differently in the sense of there was no divisions before; there were just conferences. So it was 6A through 1A. Whoever came out of those conferences were the state champs. Whereas this year they're doing divisions 1 and 2. This goes across baseball, football, basketball, all sports. And anyways, the way they do it is based on your enrollment. And Lufkin being one of the bigger schools, not only in 5A, but one of the bigger, of course, in the district. No matter what, both girls and boys, if they make it out of in the playoffs, they'll be Division One no matter what. So you look at these things, you look at this region, Lufkin being in Region 2. We look down at Region 9. That's a lot of North Dallas schools. Some of those teams include Mount Pleasant, McKinney North, Melissa, Sherman, those teams, North Dallas. Then you come down to ours, which is District 10, which is our district, of course, Hallsville, Jacksonville, Lufkin, Marshall, Mount Pleasant, Knack, Texas High, or Texarkana, Texas, Tyler High, and White House. Again, if I've highlighted red, that means they're no matter what they'll go Division II if they make the playoffs. If they're blue, they could go either way depending on how the district shapes up. So the way to work is the top 4 seed teams will whoever comes out of the top 4 will make the playoffs, and they'll base the divisions based on the standing. So if there's 4 teams and let's say Lufkin and Tyler are one of the top 4 teams, they'll automatically go D1, and then based on whoever else is there, they could go D2 or D1. So look down at District 1. That's all. District 11. That's all Frisco schools up around Dallas as well. District 2, a lot more Frisco. You got Highland Park, a really good basketball squad, especially on the boys' side. District 3, a lot of inner city Dallas schools, as well as in District 14. You've got some of the eastern part of Dallas, which is Mesquite, North Mesquite, and West Mesquite. And then you get in District 15, which has Corsicana, Red Oak, Midlothian, and some of the outskirts of Dallas area. And then dropping down to District 16, in Region 2, you have Belton, Killeen, Waco, some of those schools. So yeah, so the way, like I said, the way it works is based on enrollment. Unlike the past, it's rather interesting, and one of the big things that I think is so interesting that in compared to the past is, if you didn't know, in basketball, they always had a regional tournament. So if you got past about the third round, I believe, you went to a regional tournament, which would be a regional side. In the last few years, Lufkin has been a regional side either in 4A or in 6A, especially the last year or two, I believe. But there's no longer a regional site. There's no longer regionals. As well in the state tournament, it used to be state tournament where you'd go to San Antonio, or the last few years it's been San Antonio, but there's no longer uh, a state tournament site. It's just one game, and I believe that for the state championship, it is at the Alamo Dome in San Antonio. So it's rather interesting. Again, going back to Lufkin boys, um, they play the Marshall Mavericks tomorrow night. Marshall being 4-11 overall, 0-5 in district play. Tips off at 6:45 of the pack here in Lufkin. That's tomorrow night, the third. Lufkin is 23-2 overall, 6-0 in district play. I want to thank everybody for getting this started. I want to continue. The thing I wanted to bring up a little bit is, I've had a lot of support. We might get some guests on here hopefully soon. Really want to do some justice with the ladies sports as well, and then moving further forward, get some of these the other sports like soccer and so on and so forth. This is all to spotlight kids and how successful they are, and really do them a solid by showing how much we support them as a Lufkin community. Um, like I said, I'm trying to get some guests, maybe some coaching, and maybe some players on here soon. And there's been a little bit of talk. Hopefully, it goes well. But just really want to thank for all the support, the kids, all the fans, the parents and coaches that have helped me to kind of get this thing started. Um, Thank y'all so much. Y'all have a great night.